Okay, hello, assalamu alaikum. My name is Naveed Niazi. I will be giving you a brief sort of an idea on how to go through with writing task 2. A lot of people have actually complained to us that they've been practicing writing task 2 and haven't been able to answer it properly, or haven't been able to go through with writing task 2 at all. So today we'll go through with all different types of essays just to give you an idea how it's done, and if you have any question, you can leave a comment and we'll get back to you and we'll answer you as well. Done? So let's just start with writing task 2. In writing task 2, you're supposed to write an essay for 250 words at least. An ideal figure is 300 to 350 words. Why do we consider ourselves to be one of the best in terms of writing? Is because we've proven it with our results and stuff. And I would give you an idea now how to go through with writing task 2 and how to do it in a perfect way. Very easy, systematical and normal. Done? Okay, let's start. So we have 4 different types of essays. The first one is advantage, disadvantage type of essay. Second is a problem essay. Third is one statement, agree or disagree essay. Fourth is 2 statement, agree or disagree essay. Okay, and you have to make sure that it would never, it's not even possible for any essay to be out of all these 4 essays. So it actually has to be from these 4 essays. Done? So let's just start with the first one, advantage, disadvantage essay. Every essay at the end, if it's written, is this a positive or a negative development, is an advantage, disadvantage essay. Right? Okay, so how do we proceed? For example, the question would be, nowadays a lot of people are using credit cards. Is this a positive or a negative development? Nowadays a lot of people are working from home. Is this a positive or a negative development? Nowadays a lot of people are going through with online shopping. If it's a positive or a negative development. Done? So we'll go through with it in a way, systematical, very easy. It's not even difficult at all. Let's start. How would we proceed? In first paragraph, you will give an introduction. This is a structure for this type of essay. Second paragraph, you will give advantages. Third paragraph, you will again give advantages. Fourth paragraph is disadvantage. Fifth one is conclusion. Okay, so how do we get to know it's an advantage, disadvantage essay? For example, if it's written simple like this, if it says, is this a positive or a negative development, or it says, do the advantages overweigh the disadvantage. Done? So we'll go through with it in a very systematical way. First of all, we'll give an introduction. Second, we'll give advantages. Third, again, we'll give more advantages. Fourth, disadvantage. And fifth one will be conclusion. So we'll start with something like this. For example, if I have let's just start with an essay. The question is, nowadays a lot of people are using credit cards. Is this a positive or a negative development? Okay? So how do we proceed with it? First of all, we'll give an introduction. Second paragraph, we'll give advantages. Third, advantages. Fourth, disadvantage. And fifth one will be conclusion. Okay? So how do we proceed? It's very logical and simple. First of all, let's just first understand the advantages and disadvantages, just to make it a lot easier. So what are the advantages of credit cards and what are the disadvantages? Okay? Let's just understand it. It makes it easier. The body part, if you understand it, or if you go through with it quicker, it makes it easier for you to later prepare your introductions and your conclusions, or spend more time on your examples. Okay? Okay, so what are the advantages of credit cards? First advantage is it's convenient to carry. You can carry it around pretty easily. Second advantage of credit card is the fact that you can get a lot of discounts. For example, we've seen if you use Bank Alphala card, you get a 10% cash back or something. Or something like this if you go to Hardee's or McDonald's. If you use a particular credit card, you get discounts and stuff. What else? It could be credit cards are used for online transactions. If you want to purchase something online, you can use a credit card. What else? For example, if you have a credit card, it gives you that security. Even if you would lose it, you can still simply go ahead and block it. But if you lose cash, you don't block nothing. Okay? So let's just proceed. For example, if you have 4 advantages, we'll put 2 advantages here, 2 advantages here. So what are the disadvantages of credit cards? One of the biggest disadvantages of credit card is the fact that credit cards are used, for example, if you use it on certain fake websites, they would take the money out and you won't even know, right? Which is a huge problem because the credit card companies, they have very bad refund policies, so it's always real bad, right? Okay. Another disadvantage is the fact that you're paying interest rate. You're actually paying more for whatever you bought. So let's say we have 2 disadvantages. We'll put those 2 disadvantages here. Now let's see. The question was, is this a positive or a negative development? So what do we put? Agar advantage zyada hai, to it's a positive development. If we have more disadvantages, then it will be a negative development. So why do we put it? In conclusion, we write something like this. We'll say that, to sum up, we can say that the advantages of credit cards seem to be more as compared to the disadvantage. So I believe that it's a positive development. True? This is exactly how it's done. So now let's just start with some of the things that we need to do before we proceed with writing an essay. This is because whatever we've done till now, everybody else will be doing it the same. But we need to make our essays extraordinary, not just an ordinary essay at all. Those people who require 7 in each or 8 in each, or especially 8 in writing or 7.5 or a 7 in writing, they would need to do more. Let's just start with it. For example, let's start with the connectors because it carries one bang. So let's start. For example, start the second paragraph with first of all or firstly. It's a connector that's connecting introduction with the first paragraph. Then I said I would explain advantages in this the third paragraph as well. So what if I start this one with in addition? Yeah? And disadvantages, so I can even start with meanwhile. And last one, to sum up. Done? Okay, so at the end of every essay, it's something else that's really important. They would always say that you have to give an example and give reason for your answer and support your answer with relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So we need to give 2 examples as well. They didn't say example, they said examples. So we'll give 2 examples. What do? Is we decide already, we sort of decided that where we will put examples just to make sure that you won't forget them. If you already know that you have to put examples in a particular paragraph, you won't forget them. So let's start. You have to give one example here, and you have to give one example here in third paragraph. Okay? So if you've already decided that you will go through with the examples this way, it would make it perfect. Okay. So we're all set for a very good essay. It didn't even start yet. We're not saying that it's complete or it's extraordinary yet. What makes it extraordinary is this. These and these examples. This will make our essay extraordinary. Done? So how do we proceed with it? For example, if I go through with an introduction and I would write 90% of the people, those who will go through with the test here in Pakistan, in terms of writing, they would start their essay very simple, logical, and a lot of people would say that we've been rephrasing because it's given online this way. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's why people are not doing it this way. Right? So what do? What I say, that do it different. If something is not working for you, change it. Logically, it will start working better. Doesn't it? So how do? We do it in one simple way. Start with facts and figures. realistic facts and figures that will make it easier for you to go through. For example, in introduction, what do we actually want to say in an introduction of an advantage disadvantage essay? Very simple. We actually want to say that in fact it's happening and it has both positive and negative aspects. Done? So how do I proceed with an introduction? I simply want to say that credit cards have positive and negative features, which I would explain in further paragraphs. So what if I start something like this? What if I say, according to a latest estimate, around the globe, around 85%, almost around 85% of the transactions online are carried out through credit cards. Right? This goes to show the importance of credit cards that are being used, but this development seems to have certain drawbacks as well, which I will explain in further paragraphs with detail. So you've given a fact, real-time fact and figure that actually makes sense. And let me tell you, even if it is not true, nobody can deny the fact that it's being used that much. For online transactions, most of the time it's credit cards, isn't it? And let me tell you, the test is of English, not of general knowledge. So even if you will come up with, make it up, even if you will make something up, this is what we teach here. We try to enhance your knowledge so that nobody here, sitting here, has an essay that matches with the other one. Okay? So you will come up with something extraordinary. Let's start with something even better. Okay? So let's start with something like this. You can say that the credit card usage, you need to now show the importance of credit card usage. So you can say that eBay.com, according to the latest press release by eBay.com, which was actually showing its sales figures for 2016, it showed almost 300% increase, which goes to show that the rapid increase in terms of usage of credit cards. And credit cards is not only being used, credit cards are not only being used for online transactions, they're actually being used for different purposes as well. But there seem to be a lot of drawbacks of it as well, which I will explain in further paragraphs with detail. Then, who knows eBay had a 3% increase and 300% increase in sales? Nobody knows. Do you think an examiner would know? Not at all. So that's what I'm saying. You can make it up as long as it's logical and it's supportive as well. Done? So it will make sense. Done? So let's just start. For example, if I've given an introduction, I would explain in some other lecture, I would explain how to go through with making introductions. For now, let's just proceed with whatever's this way. Done? Okay, let's just do it this way. I will explain the intro, how to make introductions and examples later on. Done? So let's just start. Okay, now how to proceed with examples. Done? How would you go through with examples? One of the major things that you can, in a way, support your ideas with is a proper example, not the regular one. Right? They were giving you sort of a bigger rule. They say that you have to support your ideas with examples from your own knowledge or experience. So when you give an example from your own experience, it's usually very ugly. Like people will come up with an example like, my uncle used a credit card and when he had to purchase something online. Or my brother uses a credit card and he often gets discounts on a lot of things that he purchases online. Ugly example. So why don't we give examples that are real life, solid examples? Something that can give you an additive advantage over the rest of the people. Why do people score good in our college? It's only because of the fact that it's done proper. Like whatever you're saying, you're justifying it with it. For example, I've said that we'll put two advantages here. I need to give an example that supports the second advantage. Done? For example, if I've given an advantage here and I say, let's say any advantage of credit card, I said that okay, online transactions are actually carried out on credit card. So I've put an advantage here. I need to give an example that supports it. Done? So can I say something like this? I can say that, for example, In Germany, Berlin, Germany, almost 85% of the purchases that were made online were actually done through credit cards and PayPal accounts. Right? So in fact, it's a much better example than the one that you've given. Who knows in Germany how many, what's the percentage of people buying things online? Nobody knows. Right? But in fact, it will make sense when you're writing it this way. It would look much better when you've already given an example that's extraordinary, not just a simple one. We don't like those simple introductions. Done? Let's start with another example. If I've given 2 advantages here as well, I can support any of the advantage with an example that should actually make sense. Right? Okay, for example, I can say, let's say one of the advantages of this development was that you can get discounts. Right? Using credit cards, you can actually get discounts. So you can say that, for example, Starbucks coffee in UK, actually with collaboration with Barclays Bank, gave around £1 million discounts to its users. Who would say it's wrong? But it's a beautiful example to support your ideas. This is where you actually get banned. Right? And let me tell you, for everybody, those who appeared 10 times and couldn't clear writing and stuff, it's very logical and simple. If you follow certain instructions, it's not even difficult. You can use reports that you read in a newspaper. You can use any research that was carried out. You can quote a person. If, for example, if I'm quoting Finance Minister of Japan, nobody knows the name of the person. But if you don't know the name of the person, even the examiner won't know it either. So you can make it up, isn't it? And it makes hell of a sense when you're writing it. It looks better this way. Done? So this is exactly how when you would end up writing this essay, it would always be more than 250 words, and it would be better in terms of covering the perfect thingy of like 300 to 350 words. Done? Thank you so much. If you guys have any question, you can always ask.